So you want to know what it's like to live in Oakland, California and the rest of the San Francisco East Bay? Then you've come to the right spot. Here at the Living in Oakland channel, we will show you the ins and outs, the goods, the bads of being in Oakland and the San Francisco East Bay. I'm Rich Fleming. I'm here in Oakland, California, and I want to welcome you to the channel. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button over there somewhere or below. Hit the bell notification so you will know each and every time we come out with a new video. So what does it mean to live in the Bay Area? Well, for some people, it's a culture. For other people, it's a lifestyle. But I'm going to keep it simple and just focus on geography. So the San Francisco Bay Area is the 9 counties that touch the San Francisco Bay. And this is a huge region. It covers about 7,000 square miles and has a population of about 8 million people. But as we'll see, a lot of that population is concentrated in pretty small areas. So let's get started. So if you're going to talk about the San Francisco Bay Area, you gotta start in San Francisco. San Francisco is a city, and it is the only city in the state of California that is also a county. It has a population of about 800,000 people. San Francisco is an absolutely beautiful and spectacular place to live. Great dining, great nightlife, excellent culture, business community. Does it have its challenges? Yeah. Just like every other city, but it is a beautiful place overall. In this area, San Francisco is known as the city. Now, there are people in San Jose and there are people in Oakland who don't like that, but that's just the way it is. You say the city in this area, people know where you're talking about. The next county, Marin. Marin is directly north of San Francisco. Absolutely spectacular views of the city from southern Marin. Marin is not a heavily populated county overall. The northern part and the westerly part of this county are pretty mountainous, pretty hilly, and there is not great transportation infrastructure in those areas. So it is not heavily populated, as I said. Some beautiful beachside communities, great places for weekend getaways, but tough commute if you're going to try and drive into San Francisco from northern Marin. Next county, Sonoma. So to give you an idea of the scale and the size of these counties and the communities, there is a town called Seacliff. Seacliff is located in the northwestern corner there of Sonoma. And if you were to drive from Seacliff to San Francisco, that is a 110-mile drive. Like Marin, Sonoma is not a super heavily populated county. It probably has less than 1 million people. Most of the population of the county is concentrated in the center of the county and a little bit to the easterly side. But if you get to northern and western Sonoma, very sparsely populated. Once again, mostly seaside communities, but not a whole lot of population beyond that. Napa. Most people have heard of Napa, the Napa wine region. Beautiful area, some of the best wineries in the world. I am not a wine connoisseur, but I do enjoy getting up there every once in a while. It is about an 1.5-hour drive from San Francisco. Beautiful region, as I said. Not a heavily populated region. The largest city in the county of Napa is the city of Napa, and it only has about 80,000 people. Napa does have growth restrictions because they are trying to maintain as much of the county for agriculture, for the wine industry as possible. So not a lot of population centers in Napa. Next county over, Solano County. So of the counties we've talked about so far, Solano has seen the most population growth over the last 10 to 15 years. And there are 2 reasons for that. One, compared to the other counties we've talked about so far, Solano is relatively flat. It is much easier to develop. You don't have the hills and you don't have the mountains as much as you do in some of the other counties. The other major reason is that Solano happens to be about halfway in between San Francisco and Sacramento, which is the California state capital. So a lot of people are moving there. The housing prices are a little bit lower, and you can be about halfway in between Sacramento and San Francisco. Choose which area you want to work in. So it's become a very popular place. These 4 counties together are known as the North Bay. If someone says that to you, this is where they're talking about. But keep in mind, your experience living in southern Marin is completely different from your experience of living in eastern Solano. Nothing to do with each other. It's just a geographic term. Very different lifestyles depending on where you're living in these counties. Next county we're going to talk about, Contra Costa County. So Contra Costa spans about 70 miles east to west, has a population of about 1.2 million. It is a very popular place to live, beautiful area. Most of the population in this county is concentrated on the western sides, in the center, and a little bit on the northern edge of the county. You don't have many people who live in the southern part, and especially in the easterly part of the county. Very rural and very hilly and mountainous areas in those areas. So once again, you're being restricted population-wise by geography. The next county, Alameda County. Population roughly 1.7 million, home to cities such as Oakland, former home of the Golden State Warriors, home of the University of California at Berkeley. Lovely place, great place. Most of the population lives along the bay, a little bit in the center of the county, and like Contra Costa, you don't have much population in the easterly end or the southerly part of this county. Why? Hills, mountains. These two counties together are known as the East Bay. So if someone says that to you, these are the two counties they're referring to. Like I said earlier, beautiful place to live, great weather. Weather is very different from San Francisco. In all of these regions, all of them have their own unique weather and patterns. Next county we're talking about, Santa Clara County. Santa Clara is the most populous county in the region. It has about 2 million people. It's home to the city of San Jose, which has over 1 million people. Spectacular place. It has grown so much in the last 20-30 years, but like all the other counties, most of the people live pretty close to the bay. Once you get out to the easterly parts, the southern part of this county becomes very rural, very mountainous, very hilly. Santa Clara is known as the South Bay. The cities in this county are in the South Bay. The next county, San Mateo County. So San Mateo historically had a number of bedroom communities where people would live and they would have a relatively short commute to San Francisco or down to San Jose. But over the years, San Mateo has developed its own business community, its own character, personality. It is a very popular place to live, but most of the population, once again, lives close to the bay. When you get to the southern part of the county, you get to the westerly part of the county, hilly, mountainous, rural. Not a whole lot of people live there. Once again, some lovely beachside communities, but not an easy location to commute to San Francisco or San Jose from. San Mateo County is known as the Peninsula. So people say that to you, you now have a point of reference. But let's talk about the East Bay. And the primary reason, well, that's what this channel is about. It is about Oakland and the East Bay. So let's talk about Alameda County. So this is that map. You look in that northwest corner and you will see Oakland and Berkeley, and that is where the majority of the people in the county live. The most important thing to see on this map are the purple lines. That is the interstate system in the county, and most people in this county live within 5 miles of an interstate. So you see in the southeast part of this county, it is much hillier, much more rugged, and there are no freeways in that area. Thus, you have almost no population in a very large section of the county. Most of the people are living in that north-south corridor from Berkeley, Albany, down to Fremont. Contra Costa County, similar story. Look at the purple lines. That will tell you where people live in this county. That southern part, the easterly part, very rural, very mountainous. There is a large state park called Mount Diablo. You can see it there on the map. It takes up a huge region of the county, and thus the opportunity for development is relatively limited, but beautiful place to live. So that's a quick summary of what it means when someone says the Bay Area. As you can see, it can mean different things to different people. Your experience living in one part of the Bay Area can be completely different than someone who lives in a completely different part of the area. But it is a spectacular area overall. Each and every county has its strong points, its beauty. It's just a spectacular place to be. So if you're even thinking of moving to Oakland or other parts of the San Francisco East Bay, I can help you find the perfect area for you. But to do that, you got to give me a call, drop me a text, send me an email, whatever works for you. I'm here to help you find your new San Francisco East Bay home. So hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, and until the next video, see you soon.